Over the past 7 years, I have completely decluttered my life, paid off all of my debt, which was $23,000 in 12 months, and started a business to pursue more meaningful work. And all of these things have taught me a tremendous amount about what matters in life and what doesn't. Come here for a second. Here's the truth. A lot of the things I used to care about, I don't anymore. And things I used to not care very much about are now my top priorities. So in this conversation, I'm sharing 5 daily principles I live by for a more intentional life. And even if you choose to live by the first 4, you need the 5th one to really take things to the next level. The first principle I live by is be your gatekeeper. When I first started curating my environment and really growing a liking to living a life with less clutter and more clarity, a constant hurdle I kept bumping up against on my journey was how to manage or think about the things coming into my life. Because what I didn't want was for all of my hard work, decluttering, detaching, and developing clarity to be for nothing. I didn't want to revert from having a curated environment, a clutter-free life, to then having a cluttered life with very little clarity. So in addition to building better habits, I've started thinking about myself as the sole gatekeeper for my life and my environment. If something does not add value to my life, if I don't believe it's worth my time, energy, or resources, then I don't allow it to enter my life. Now, being my gatekeeper has not only transformed the way I navigate life and make decisions in confidence, but it has also aided me in maintaining a clutter-free life, a curated environment, even with a growing family. Because it's not just about me anymore, right? It's also about my wife. It's also about my son. And now my wife and I both can stand on the front line, and we both can be the gatekeepers of our family's environment, which gives us both the confidence that we are creating and curating a space that we are happy to raise our family in. And when I talk about a space, I'm talking about our home. I'm talking about our relationships. I'm talking about the work we choose to do. It's everything. And we want to create a space and curate a space that we're happy to raise our family in, which I love. Now, the second principle I live by is a question rather than a statement. As a solopreneur, a content creator, and a family man who's actively practicing minimalism and creating a life filled with less clutter and more clarity, the most powerful question I've ever asked myself in business and in life is, what am I optimizing for? What am I optimizing for? And really, I feel like I can unpack this question and talk about the importance of it for hours, but I don't want to bore you, right? So here's a quick sneak peek of what this looks like in my everyday life and why this question has become such a huge game changer for me. So on the personal side of things, when I think about this question, okay, what am I optimizing for in my personal life? And the main thing that comes to mind for me is more available time with my family, to be present in my son's life, to be present with my wife, to be an active partner and participant in our marriage, right? So this means I am being mindful and intentional about what I give my time, attention, and energy to, because I don't want to stretch myself too thin, as they say, right? And create unnecessary stress and worry and busyness in my life. Another piece of this is making sure that I'm also prioritizing the things I value, the things that are important to me, the things that I enjoy, like my health, right? My wife and I, we both enjoy running. We enjoy rock climbing. We enjoy working out together. We cook 95% of our meals. We rarely eat out. These are things that are important to us. So I want to prioritize them, or rather, I want to make sure that I am optimizing them or optimizing for those things in my personal life. Now, on the business side of things, when I think about this question, okay, what am I optimizing for? My answer to that would be to create leverage for myself. To create leverage for myself. And what I mean by that is giving myself the option to say no more often and to take time off when I want. I think to myself that I want my business and the work I'm doing to be a blessing and not a burden. I want my business and the work I'm doing to be a blessing and not a burden. So I'm constantly trying to improve my processes and my workflows, right? I'm striving to be 1% better every single day. So I'm asking myself, okay, what can I automate? What can I delegate? What can I eliminate? What tools and resources can I make better use of? Right? I challenge you to ask this question of yourself. What are you optimizing for in your personal life, in your business, in the work you're choosing to do? Now, as a business owner, a solopreneur, a content creator, even in my personal life, I have had moments in the past where I felt behind. Raise your hand in the comments if you can relate. And as I've learned, down through the years, how to overcome this particular feeling, I've shared my thoughts and beliefs in conversations similar to this one, which you can find here on this channel. However, I have a very simple yet very profound statement I want to share with you right now. And I'm certain you will see why this has quickly become a principle I live by. Feeling behind in life is only a problem if you live by comparison. Whew. Right? Feeling behind in life is only a problem if you live by comparison. That's deep, huh? See, when we constantly compare our progress and achievements to those of others, it becomes easy to perceive ourselves as falling behind. However, suppose we focus on our own personal growth, our own goals and aspirations, rather than measuring our success against others. What would happen? Well, in that case, the feeling of being behind in life loses significance and allows us to focus on our own unique journey and personal milestones. But how do we do this, right? That's the magic question. Well, I found that this works best when we first commit to changing the way we think. Check out this metaphor I use to help illustrate why we feel behind in life. And just so you know, the poet in me couldn't help himself. Okay, I want to take us back and talk about the story of the tortoise and the hare, a story that is laced with life lessons and values. Now, we all know how this story goes and how it ends, right? In short, the tortoise and the hare race, and the hare is expected to win because he's faster, right? And instead of the tortoise trying to run and keep up with the hare, he decides to run his own race at his own pace, focusing on his own journey. And in the end, he wins. Now, as I was thinking about this story, the poet in me was drafting metaphors on top of metaphors for this message. And it dawned on me that what if the tortoise is a physical representation of you and I, and the hare represents a way of thinking, a mindset that we have? See, in other words, mentally, we're thinking like the hare. We want our journeys in life to progress fast as if it's a race. We want to achieve everything we've always wanted now. But physically, it seems as though things are moving slowly, which makes us believe and feel like we're behind in life. Yet if somehow we could just shift our perspective to think more like the tortoise, to run this race we call life at our own pace, focusing on our own journeys, then maybe we won't feel behind in life, right? Or maybe in the end, we'll win and we'll actually achieve those things we seek. All right, let's keep this conversation moving. The fourth principle I live by is focusing 100% on what you can control. And I love this, especially following the conversation we just had about feeling behind in life, because sometimes the frustrations we feel, the pressures we put on ourselves, the reasons we overthink, why we feel behind at times, is sometimes we're giving too much of our energy to things that are out of our control. And again, raise your hand in the comments if you can relate, because this is why this is a great principle to live by and why I chose to talk about it and live by it myself. See, when we focus on what's within our control, we gain power, we improve, and as cliche as it sounds, we start to see change in our lives. And I have to make sure that I say this because there's so much information out there about how doing this one thing, or if you do this list of things, it will change your life and it'll transform your life. And I'm guilty of sharing these thoughts and ideas as well, but the simple action of focusing 100% on what you can control is so simple, too simple even, and so practical that we often overlook the positive impact it can have on our life. So as a quick reminder for you, if nothing else, here are a handful of things within our direct control. The food we eat, the media we consume, the stuff we allow to clutter our space, the habits we practice, the actions we take, the words we speak or don't speak, the goals we pursue, and the positivity we share. Now, speaking of positivity, the next principle on my list is the cherry on top, so to speak. And that is your failures are fertilizer for growth. Your failures are fertilizer for growth. In all the failures and hiccups I've had in business and in life, there has always been a lesson for me to learn. And those lessons have taught me to view failure from a completely different perspective. Because here's what I know. Our perspective can either empower us and help us continue to grow, or it can limit our growth. And it's up to us to decide which perspective we believe and are choosing to subscribe to. Keep growing on your journey, my friend. Keep learning. Always keep the right perspective, right? Because that's very important. But don't forget to stay true to you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.